Hello, welcome to PlayStation Access. My name is Nathan, and I'm here with Rob.
Hello.
Rob, newly returned from PSX.
Yes.
Wherein you played Nioh.
I did play Nioh.
You've joined me in the team of people who've played Nioh and were not very good at it.
Yeah, I did play Nioh. This is not what you're watching.
Oh, really?
Because when I played Nioh...
It was hard, right?
It was really, really hard. And I thought to myself, we could make this a video, but it would have to be called 17 Ways I Died in the First Area of Nioh.
Yeah.
So I went back the next day and got a very kind developer called Nick to play Nioh for me. And he was much better.
A developer on Nioh, right? Not just some random guy who makes games.
Yeah, just some guy who was in the area.
So what did you... So it is... I heard actually in the... We didn't put it in the vlog, but you can watch Rob and Holly's vlog from PSX in Access Granted, which is on the channel right now. But in one of the offshoots from that, which no one else got to see, you said it was like a mix between the Souls games and Ninja Gaiden. And I think that's probably pretty fair.
Yeah, I mean,
expand upon
it's
that?
Developed by Team Ninja, isn't it? The developers of Ninja Gaiden, and the Dark Souls influences are incredibly apparent throughout. Yeah. It's a game where each enemy is incredibly challenging. There's no such thing as cannon fodder in Nioh. You have to be concentrating all the time on everything you fight, and you have to, know what you're doing every time. And if you die, all the enemies respawn. There are altars, I think they're called. You probably see some in the gameplay here.
Like little
that
green
you can
dudes
pray at, which are essentially Nioh's version of bonfires from the Souls games.
Yeah, and you can even pick up souls-like things.
Yes.
Like little glowing items. Yeah, but the combat, if anything, is actually more complicated.
Yes. The kind of Ninja Gaiden thing is quite apparent. The combat is I want to say faster than Dark Souls.
Yeah.
But in terms of the pace of the action, it's probably about the same, but your character seems to have more about him combat-wise than any of the Souls characters would. I mean,
there's more to get to grips with, right?
You've got a bunch of weapons. You've got ranged weapons. You've got like a bow and arrow. You've got like a shotgun. And you've got close-range weapons. You've got like a sword. And I think we're going to see like a spinning whip type thing. I don't know the name for that. What's that?
Flail?
A flail. Maybe like a flail. But using the correct weapon on the correct enemy is crucial.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to die.
But there's also stances as well. There's like, aren't there like there's like defensive stance, attacking stance. I mean, maybe you didn't even like experiment.
I didn't do
with
any
that
of this, Nate.
because I really
just died.
Because I played it with Dave and we played it. I think it was it was at E3 and we went through it maybe 3 or 4 times. We were trying to record a run, where I was alive for a stretch of time that wasn't completely embarrassing.
Yeah. That's difficult to do that.
And I went in, we did a tutorial, and I went in thinking I'm going to do some stance work in this capture. But then as soon as you get started into it, it's a whole, like, you're concentrating in that way that people who've played the Souls games might be familiar. You're like completely engaged, concentrating on your blocking, and you just want to kind of sensibly make your way through the enemies. And then afterwards you're like, I did not use any of my stance, and they must help. So it's like a whole added extra layer. What did you think of one of the things which I think is really is original is the character design. I think I do love Dark Souls, and I love that that series has been influenced by the fighting fantasy books, which I kind of grew up reading. So it's got that kind of Western style, but this is much more. There are kind of like Eastern demons in this game.
Yeah, and they're terrifying and amazing. We'll see a boss later on in this gameplay footage.
Yeah.
Who, I mean, Dark Souls bosses are always incredibly well designed.
Yeah.
This is up there. I think she's called the Ogress. She's an absolute monstrosity. She's kind of like, you can just see in her actions, she's suffering badly. Yeah. She's in a lot of pain, and just her movement as well. It's desperate and erratic. Like, she wants to get rid of you. Like, you're the thing causing her pain.
But I love the use of colour. I think because even Bloodborne is basically a game made up of black or red.
Yeah.
Whereas this, like, there are kind of more vibrant. There's glowing purples and bright reds.
It's a very pretty game. But while it's very pretty, I also found it quite oppressive in a good way.
Yeah, like not just because it was handing you your
It's not like
ass.
Ni no Kuni. You're not running around thinking, oh, that's lovely.
Right.
You're running around thinking, oh, God, what's going to kill me next? But like Dark Souls, even though I'm absolutely rubbish at Nioh, it is still absolutely brilliant. Like, I died so many times in the first area, and then I was fighting this guy on like a catwalk area, and I nudged him, and he kind of lost his balance on the edge of this catwalk and fell to the ground, and I flew down after him, did a finishing move on him just completely instinctively, and it worked, and it did massive amounts of damage, and you just get that feeling of yes.
Do you know, and
man, that's great.
And it definitely felt to me, because like I said, I played the same area over and over again. You get that kind of that learning curve of the Souls games where you get to an area and you're just like, no, like there's no way that I can't understand what's happening here, and and then eventually you realise, you know, how you're going to have to deal with certain enemies, what resources you're going to need to save for later bits, and then I don't know, like it's always, I love his constant sense of kind of overcoming adversity in these games, where you arrive somewhere thinking this is never going to happen, and then, you know, a few weeks later,
yes,
you're kind of running through it, and it's like an area that you've just, you know, that you've practiced. And,
yeah.
You know.
I mean, that's the joy of it, isn't it? You get to a point where you're so good at a certain area, you know everything off by heart, you know what the enemies are capable of, that you can just go through looking like a complete badass. And in Nioh, I think your character is tailored more to looking like a badass than your character in Dark Souls.
Yeah.
'Cause you're a ninja, you're like a samurai, awesome warrior.
I mean, I was boring Dave with this when we played at E3, but you know, he's based on Will Adam, which is one of the first Europeans to make it to Japan.
I did not know that.
He's from Gillingham, which is where I'm
From Gillingham?
Yeah, he's one of the very few things that we can boast about from Gillingham.
Wow.
There's a Will Adams memorial there. I could take you there.
That's some trivia.
I just love that it's even in just the flowers, you know, just the fact it's in a garden.
Well,
it's just a completely different palette.
You might not have seen from the cutscene, but the flowers come from the Ogress's tears.
Aww.
She cries tears of blood,
Great.
and they hit the ground, and these red flowers just bloom. So this garden of red flowers is basically the garden of the Ogress's tears.
That's lovely. I mean, that's poetic.
I love the way it kind of tells story like that, how the Souls games and now Nioh tell their story. Like, I know so much about this character just from the way she moves.
Yeah.
And her animation. I mean, you get down to like a certain point of health when she gets below half health, and her moves get really desperate.
Right.
She's like really scrabbling to get you, and you have to really be on your game.
And I guess the other thing to mention is that which we should have probably put up the top, but you played this in 4K. I saw the TV; it looked enormous.
It was bigger than me.
And
literally.
And Nioh is one of the games which obviously has not just been optimized for Pro, but has various options that you can either improve performance on the 1080 version, or there's various things you can do in the 4K version. But you were playing this on a Pro, and the footage that we're putting up at the moment is 4K.
Yes.
So enjoy that. Well, Rob, thank you for showing me. It's basically
right.
it's like coming back. Yeah, thanks, Nick. It's like when you come back from a holiday and you're just sharing all your photos with you. And I already cut the blog together for you, so you know, like I've seen.
This is where I died.
I was almost. Yeah.
This is where I died again.
I was almost there with you. Right, so that's it. Thank you guys for watching us or Nick play Nioh at PSX. We are going to have more of Nioh coming up in the new year, because it's a game which I think we're all quite interested at. And if none of that ever goes up, it's because, you know, we never got very good at the game. So
very likely.
Like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment, let us know what you think about Nioh in the comments below. And do subscribe to PlayStation Access. We've got loads more coming up.